Alright, welcome Cartel members. Thanks for joining me. My name is Julio, also known as the Theorizing Theorist. Sorry about that. We're going to watch this video real quick. I'm going to have to break it down in two parts, unfortunately, because I don't have enough memory on my phone to record an hour and 20 minutes of this beautiness right here. So I'm going to have to go ahead and just hit play. And we'll do 30 minutes. Awesome. Please ignore me in the background smoking and all that, I know. Bad habit. Now I'll be pausing it and talking sporadically throughout. So again, new format, just trying something new here.
And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made from the White House.
Challenger, only seconds after leaving the launch pad, according to NASA, has exploded.
It just has the same seats that like a normal car has. It's literally a normal car in space.
We're going back to the moon, back to the future, and this time, back to STEM.
I should tell you that the first mission is scheduled to land on Mars on July the 4th, 1997.
We will undertake extended human missions to the moon as early as 2015.
We launched a new spacecraft as part of a re-energized space program that will send American astronauts to Mars.
We will not only plant our flag and leave our footprint for an eventual mission to Mars.
What you're seeing here is a mirage. It is Photoshop, but it's has to be.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The one thing globe believers need to understand is that you don't just take the spinning ball Earth and flatten it out and put it back in the heliocentric model. Like it's just the only misfit planet and it's flat and the rest of the planets are round. No flat earther has ever said that. No flat earther will ever say that because it's not what we believe. The Earth isn't a pancake floating in outer space. And you will never hear a flat earther say that. And if you would ever actually take the time to study it for yourself or hear a flat earther through, then you would find that it's much different and things would actually make more sense.
They've got the narrative control to where anyone that goes to search for this, they're going to see pancakes floating up in space. You know, it turns people away. Or they see a snow globe. A snow globe out in the middle of space with water falling off the sides, and they're like, what is this? It turns them away. The mainstream agenda was to push their false narrative, all these hit pieces on flat Earth. 2016, 2017, that was pretty much the end of the YouTube era, where we could actually find real evidence, real content. Any search engine, the algorithms are suited to their favor. You're going to see all the hit pieces. You're going to see all the stuff that's there to debunk flat Earth. So it's just, it's almost impossible to get the real information.
YouTube played their part in it, and not just cherry picking which videos they wanted to show, but deciding whether or not they wanted you to subscribe to somebody. So on several occasions and with several different content creators, I'd press the subscribe button to then find out several days or several weeks later that I couldn't find that content creator, assuming they'd either been deleted or they'd been censored beyond belief. And of course they had been, because my subscription that was previously made was no longer there. And I know that I hadn't unsubscribed to anybody. And then resubscribing, you'd find again that down the line that the same thing
What is those girls in that accent,
There's a
right?
major campaign by Google and YouTube and all of these corporate lying companies to discredit the flat Earth. Why do they have that disclaimer under every video dealing with the topic of flat Earth, that it is an archaic, antiquated, outdated model that the ancients used to believe in? Of course, the ancients were stupid. They didn't know how to build Gothic cathedrals, and they didn't know how to build cities and pyramids.
The problem is, people that think that flat Earth is stupid think flat Earth is stupid because they're thinking of a stupid flat Earth. And they ridicule and make fun of flat earthers. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Since 2015, the content providers for Flat Earth have had a living hell. We have been ridiculed, we have been trolled, we have been censored beyond belief by YouTube. It's really difficult to get the truth out there.
YouTube controls the algorithm. Who owns YouTube? Google. These are these big corporations that came in and said, The flat earth is getting way too big. People are finding this out. We don't want them to find this out. This will just completely destroy our agenda that we've worked so hard for. We're losing it because of our own technology that we created. So they had to get involved. Withholding information and knowledge is a form of control.
Now, for new people coming into the subject, if you research Flat Earth, the Google analytic will give you government hate propaganda against the Flat Earth truth.
If you go to Google and try to find anything Flat Earth related, then the first thing that's going to pop up is the Flat Earth Society. And that is something that has absolutely nothing to do with this movement. In fact, it's a completely made-up organisation in order to deter anybody looking for some sort of truth. So that you'd first of all get to that page, you'd see these ridiculous accusations and this spinning disc illusion that's going upwards in space that I can assure you nobody believes in. If the globe model was as strong as they claim to be, then there wouldn't be so much concern with anybody talking about a stationary Earth model. Now, everything's fine in court until somebody walks in with a load of shit on you. Everything's fine until somebody out there has evidence that's going to prove you guilty. And that's when you start acting suspicious, that's when you start panicking, that's when you start putting damage control out there, which is inevitably what these bots are, what these trolls are on social media, and of course the algorithms. This is just a new lie that was started in the 20s, and even before then they weren't really teaching anything about the world and where we were. It was just common knowledge.
One of the main arguments that globe believers come at you with is we've known for 2,000 years. Aristophanes figured it out with his sticks and shadows. Well, Aristophanes may or may not have been a real mathematician. He figured out the shape of the earth. That would have made him the Michael Jordan of mathematicians, but nobody ever mentioned him in a book until the mid-1900s.
What's crazy is I've talked to some elderly people, and they've told me that back in their day when they were in school, they didn't even learn about people like Copernicus or Galileo. Everything's up for grabs at this point. People like Christopher Columbus and any other figure in history could be totally false or created just for some sort of agenda.
This is everywhere. We found somebody in Croatia. They said they were teaching flat earth through the 1930s.
Most people think that this flat earth versus globe earth has been going back and forth for thousands of years. No, it has not. This is a brand new deception. They come up with these stories, these fictional stories, fictional characters, to reinforce that we live on a ball.
All of our globe provers, Galileo, Aristophanes, Copernicus, the pictures of them show that they're Masons, but I contend that we don't even know if they're real. All of our history is a lie. I've met people that said that they were taught flat earth in the early 1960s in school. They were taught flat earth and globe earth, and then it kind of just went away. I interviewed Ruth, a 102-year-old woman, back in February of 2020, and she was taught flat earth in public school in Connecticut.
Tell me your name.
Ruth Heath.
Ruth, and how old are you today?
102.
102. So you were born in
1918.
1918. And we were just talking, and I asked you what shape the Earth is, and what did you say? What were you taught in school in elementary school?
I was taught in school that the Earth was flat.
Where did you go to school? Elementary school?
I went to school in Hamden, Connecticut.
So how does it make you feel to realize that you were right as a kid?
It makes me feel better.
It does make you feel better, right?
Oh, it makes me feel alive.
Oh my God, that is so true. My whole life, I believe, what I was taught. And then when I discovered the flat earth,
I feel better about it.
Because we are the center of creation.
That's right.
We are important.
That's right.
We are here.
We are God's children. And when all the problems that are happening in this world today.
I'll give you some good news. A lot of the problems that they report on the news aren't even real.
That's right. That's right.
They're just keeping us in fear.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I understand that. I understand they just say what they want people to know.
That we never went to the moon, that was all fake.
Is that right?
That's correct.
I saw that all happening.
Yeah, so did I, and we all believed it, but that was just to reinforce that people to believe they can live on a ball, they can walk on a ball.
It's such a lie.
It's such a lie, but knowing the lie is like going to a magic show. Yes, that's what we call it. We call it red. This is your moment of waking up. It's of waking up. It's when you go to see a magician and you know how the tricks are done, and the magic no longer works on you. And
Now, I have a problem with this because I only believe in God to be true. Globe Earth could be real. We could have went to the moon. If you get to heaven and you take God, now tell me the truth now, God. Earth is flat, right? And God's like, no, man, I don't know how you guys got so veered left, but it's round. They were all right. All that stuff was right. I mean, what are you going to tell God, right? With God, anything is possible, including flat Earth, plain Earth, whatever you want to call hollow Earth. All these things are possible. It's the probability, and you can never get to 100%, you know what I'm saying, on anything. If you dive deep into any subject, you will see we don't know a fucking thing. Okay, but again, any and everything is possible, including globe Earth. And for them to tell this lady at the last moments of her life in the nursing home that, hey, guess what? Which is, I mean, in this case, it's okay because they're showing her God is real, and maybe it's given her hope. I don't know. It's hard for me to see elderly people being kind of taken advantage of in this way. And I'm sure a lot of people are kind of cringing at this point. But let's continue. This is the 10-minute mark.
Free from the illusion. So knowing this is going to free your heart. It's okay. Happiness.
Yes.
Tears of joy.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, give me a hug. Here we go.
All right. Rockefeller seems to have a role in this. He started the General Education Board and continued being involved with the educational system. The fact of the matter is, the people that have been in control, they're in control now, and they're going to continue to be in control, whether they pass it down or change the name, whatever it may be. But yeah, I mean, whenever Rockefeller's name is tied to something, it's always something to question, that's for sure.
That's a huge red flag for me, that they can come in and change everything we know, all of history, and turn it into deception. They keep teaching deception over and over and over again until it becomes the norm.
The same man used to be the nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers. This was the same person who was found guilty of antitrust violations around the turn of the 20th century, who then went on to get his fingers in all of the education systems, of course with the promise of, I'll give you money, I'll make sure that your school has everything that it needs as long as you push these textbooks, as long as you push these narratives and you push these ideas. I'm going to give you a nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers. And that's exactly what we're talking.
This should tell us why we can't talk about literally the thing that's why is that?
Knowing if there is a creator, absolutely. That's one of the main reasons to hide this. But, you know, at the same time, it's nowhere near comparison when 1 billion people find out that there's more land.
It's about hidden land. I think it's possible they could be hiding land in here somewhere with us. And I think that the Antarctica Treaty is very, very, very sinister, and there must be something else going on.
They went really tough with their implementation of the Antarctic Treaty and just to keep people away from the truth. They didn't want people to know about more land.
Haven't we been fighting over land forever? Isn't that what always happens? Countries fighting over land, but not on the outskirts of Antarctica. Oh, no. No fighting there. They're all in agreement. You can't go there. You can't explore any of it.
That treaty was in effect in 1959. It can't even be questioned until the year 2041. The longest lasting treaty that all of the world signed on to at the same time and is still in place. Antarctica is the container of our world oceans. What is beyond Antarctica? Why is the government hiding Antarctica from us? Why is Antarctica completely off limits except for taking a tour of a little peninsula off of South America, which is nothing? And people go, well, you can go to Antarctica.
We spent months trying to actually do it. I was going to send a crew. They won't call back. You can't even go there. There's one peninsula where you look at penguins.
Exactly. And then you think, I have some friends that went to the fucking South Pole. Yeah, they put them in that little fucking island with penguins.
When you went to Antarctica, you walked around it. It's like being in New Jersey and saying you were chilling in California. It's fucking huge.
There's about 100 different companies that you can spend a lot of money to go on a little guided tour of just that peninsula, but all of those companies are owned under one umbrella. One person controls them all. They don't let anybody explore Antarctica.
National headline in about 5 minutes. Australian Navy ship shooting. Is it? The turret's turning our way. The turret's turning at us. Wait, we should hide Adrian in case they think we're wrong.
See, I believe this is why they shot down that one airplane that had 300 people. The pilot had simulations and all that stuff. I think he was trying to go south with a group of people like that to try to... I don't know, and then they shot him down.
Just go. That's right. Is it? That's unreal.
Unreal. Wow. The unwoke will say you're a conspiracy theorist.
One of the main answers is they're hiding more land.
The elite.
What if we can truly become free? The whole reason for this is because of more land. Because think about it, if there's more real estate, if there's more resources, natural resources, if there's more food for our starving children, if there's more space, more room for us to get away from the child sex trafficking, if there's places where we can go and other civilizations we can be a part of, where they don't charge you for water, they don't charge you for free energy, they don't charge you for property taxes. What if there is more land?
Nobody can go explore Antarctica, period. Because if humanity found out there's more land, then the heliocentric theory is gone. They can't start adding more continents on the bottom of a ball. It's just, they wanted it silenced right away.
There is evidence out there through old maps, namely the 1,000-year-old Japanese Kabawashi map, which shows continents and lands outwardly of what they call the ice shelf. Or
Alright, we're gonna pause it real quick. That map you just saw. Alright, I've done videos on this. Oh shit, let me fix this here. Alright, I've done videos on this, okay guys? There was a guy, he got murdered, blown up in a helicopter. He went to the bottom of the ocean and found a lake, a sea salt lake, or a lake, whatever. It was a lake that had a barrier on it, and they couldn't penetrate this barrier, right? So, in my opinion, and if you watch my other videos, you'll see that I feel like we're at the bottom of an ocean. Okay, a giant ocean, right? That's our flat Earth, right? And outside of where we're at right now, they say is more land, which I would agree, but I feel like it's all frozen. Okay, I feel like the ice shelf, and it probably is a thing where if you just keep going, it just keeps getting colder and colder until you can't bear it anymore, in a sense, right? And maybe that's where anyway, I'm not going to get too much into theoretical theories and stuff like that, but I wonder if what they're saying is true. I mean, all that, there's enough space on the amount of land that they admit to already that have plenty of resources, okay? The United States alone could feed the world 3 times over, I bet, with just their trash, all right? So that doesn't make sense to me. I think it's more to keep people together if they're hiding, you know, they don't want people exploring because they know it's just a dead end and they want to stop that, you know, or they're still trying to figure it out. Maybe they're on the breakthrough of technology, they're discovering aliens and all this. Who knows what's really going on, right? But to me, we're at the bottom of an ocean, okay? And our atmosphere is like that lake that guy found at the bottom of our oceans, right? And it was unpenetrable by his thing, and fishes were able to penetrate it, it looked like. But it was, you'll have to watch the video. I can't remember what it was. I think it was, I can't remember. Comment down below if you remember. Like, subscribe, share, follow, all that good stuff. And while I'm talking about it, please be sure to donate if you can, if you want to, by checking the description box down below. PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. Trying to get Starlink over here in rural Colorado because I have crappy internet, or else I'd be doing this live with y'all. But again, if you want to donate, check the description box down below. But back to this, you'll see that I can't remember what I was saying, but yeah, basically we're at the bottom of a lake, and they're saying that there's more land outside it. Now with their models, their heliocentric, whatever, no, not their heliocentric, their Earth and Sun and the Moon and how it rotates around Earth, the center, right? I think that circle that they're talking about is what keeps this circle on the ground, this plate, it looks like a dinner plate, right? Warm enough to be outside of the cold, right? Whatever you want to call the sun, whatever you want to, but that's why it's kind of like why we're this little circle right here on the bottom of this plane of this Earth. I mean, Earth is massive, and we're just kind of a bunch of islands on a lake. Does that make sense? Who knows how big this Earth or planet that we're on or plane that we're on goes or grows. But anyway, we're going to do a couple more minutes of this, probably about 8 more minutes, and then I'm going to have to cut it short and then just cut this in parts. I'm running out of memory here. So please forgive me. Let me continue real quick though.
The ice wall. So why are they teaching the globe model? Well, you see, the globe is a container, and it's a container of all the known land. The Jesuits and the Freemasons, they needed a new model because they wanted a new world order.
Right now on a ball or in a snow globe, there's only 7 continents. That's all there is. So everything is very limited. We have a limited supply.
Resources are very scarce because the Earth is a globe, right? It's cut off, everything's cut off. If you open it up and there is more land, then there's plenty of resources. More land means more resources. Well, that's huge if they're hiding something like that. There's a scene in The Truman Show where Truman is like, I want to be an explorer when I get older.
I like to be an explorer, like the Great Magellan.
Oh, well, you're too late. There's really nothing left to explore.
Imagine if there's like all these beautiful places to explore still, and finding out that there's all this land, it just opens up the door for discovery again.
Have you ever heard of the eyewitness testimony written in the books, The Iron Republic, The Smoky God, Worlds Beyond the Poles?
In the late 1800s, there was a series of articles written in Florida Magazine about a politician that was tired of what was going on here, got a big ship and a crew, was exploring Antarctica, and he found a passageway through, and he popped out into the ocean, was lost for about a month. Finally, they found land with a city, and they pulled up, and it was a very advanced, quite different civilization, and very friendly, and they stayed there, and he writes about all the experiences he had there. In the late 1800s, they were talking about more land beyond Antarctica.
Remember, the word extraterrestrial means extra land. They're telling you that there's more land in here that they don't talk about.
There could be more land in some of the oceans where it's just all blue on the map. Nobody knows. You're not cruising around on big ships or flying over it on planes and looking, you know, nobody's out there charting anything.
Have you heard of such a thing as no-fly zones?
For instance, you can't fly in certain areas near the Arctic Circle or the Antarctic Circle. The reasons being is because there are lands there that we're not supposed to know about. They don't want those lands to be discovered.
All these corrupt systems that are stealing money from us, kidnapping our children, just doing horrible things, they rely upon the cattle staying on the ranch, the slaves on the plantation. That's why Flat Earth is the most important knowledge we can obtain. It's because there is more land.
Don't look at us and say, go prove it. It won't allow us to go prove it. We're not the lazy ones here. We're being restricted from going to prove this to you. So because of that, of course we're going to speculate. It's a red flag. If that's not a red flag to you, I don't know what is. They won't allow us to go. Allow us to go. If we go and there's nothing there, I'll admit I'm wrong. But all signs point to that they're hiding more land.
You have to have permission to do everything. You have to have permission to marry the love of your life. You have to have permission to travel down the road when we have the inalienable right to travel from point A to point B. You people think you're free? You're not free. You're free-range chickens. That's what you are. You're free-range chickens held in an area. You're not allowed to go past it. If not, you go to jail or you get shot. Stay on the plantation, do what you're supposed to do, pay your taxes, and shut up. Right?
Well, if there is more land, and I sincerely believe that there is, then that's the perfect reason to lie to everybody. It's not just about hiding a place for more resources and where else we can go and dig for gas and gold. It's not about that. They're hiding freedom. They know that as soon as we all find out that there's another place to go without dictatorship, that we'd be gone.
There's endless amounts of everything, and there's so much more land out there, and there's many places to explore, and they just want to keep us here in the middle of the pond, stuck here thinking that this is all there is.
What happens to the price of gold and all natural resources if there's more land? Gold can't go to $1 an ounce. Gasoline can't go to 20 cents a gallon. We can all have, thousands of acres of land to ourselves. The whole system crumbles. The entire system crumbles. Period.
On the other hand, we have the North, which is also off limits.
I went on my first official trip. I was going with my father and my grandpa Sinclair up to the North Pole. It was a very glamorous destination. I figured I was finally going to be let into the reason for the existence of this high-security Arctic base. I was exactly right. We drove slowly through and past the buildings on a special top-secret mission. And that's when I understood just how powerful and wonderful my father was.
The North Pole is a biggie. It's always been in my mind. I've juggled with the idea, is there hidden land? Could they have possibly hidden a continent in the Arctic Ocean, which is seemingly an ocean? They could hide land there. Many old maps will show you the Hyperborean, 4 continents, and in the center, Axis Mundi. And I think that's what's there. I think there is Mount Meru. And I think that gives off an acoustic device.
There's definitely something special going on up there, and if you just think about that long enough, why do compasses point north? I mean, that's really wild in itself. What if we all took our compasses out and just followed them until it stopped?
A compass will always point north, towards the magnetic north. There's some kind of force or some type of energy, frequency, vibration that's pulling that needle to the north.
It's crazy to think that all compasses are pointing north to the North Pole. No compass points south. There is no South Pole. There's no compass that's going to go south. No, it's come pass, come to the north. There's something there. I think we could all agree there's something there. And it's crazy that they cover it up. They've covered it up for so long.
There's ancient civilizations, the Nordics. There's people have talked about, you know, the Rupert Nigra, the Mount Meru, the giant magnetic mountain at the center.
An entire magnetic mass or a mountain that is strong enough to make everybody's compass point north.
When I was a kid in school, they showed us a National Geographic video of the guys that were getting to the North Pole, and they just basically made it look so horrible and miserable and dark and cold that no kid ever in his life would go, hey, I want to go to the North Pole.
So if you watch any documentary about the North Pole or anybody venturing to the North Pole, all you're gonna find is some dude mobbing on an ice sheet, and he's got a little device in his hand. He's like, 3, 2, 1, North Pole. And that's not the North Pole, man. That's bullshit.
I just don't know what this is.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to end it here. I'm gonna leave you with the rest of this scene right here, and then I'm gonna catch back up with you at the end of this scene with the next episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, follow, all that, and as always, you know the routine. To God be the glory.
In my world, many others, no one knows how many. The Dark Tower stands at the center of all things. And it stood there from the beginning of time. And it sends out powerful energy